Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Octodad, Dadliest catch. Actually sent an email in asking for a press code but didn't get one so I had to buy it. Not entirely sure why they didn't reply, but anyway. Settings. It's actually kind of nice because you can turn down the difficulty to see how quickly you get noticed. Level timer, translucent body. It makes sense once you get in the game. You got all your audio options here. In your extras, you got your ties. These are collectibles. You can find 3 of these in each level, and you can actually choose to wear one of them, which is kind of neat. We can check my stats here. I got about an hour in this. I've taken 1,700 steps. That's a bit strange, but okay, we'll go with that. Now you got 2 different types of levels. You got the campaign or the story or whatever the bloody hell you want to call it. That has all your different levels here. I don't know, I'd say I'm about halfway through because there's 39 ties in the game and there's like, let's see, 18 there. And the shorts also have 3 each. So yeah, I'm about halfway through the main storyline. You can also turn on a co-op mode, which has some really freaking weird controls. Look at that. Look at that weird set of controls there. You can control both of Octodad's arms, but we are not going to be playing with the co-op controls because I'm actually doing pretty well with the normal one. So let's continue on. I've just started the level called the Deep Sea, so we can have a little bit of a wander around and show off what this game actually is, which is incredibly silly, but we'll get to that when it decides to load. Loading times aren't the best feature of this game, I must say. You just sit here waiting for 30 seconds for that bar to very slowly move across the screen. You'd better if it went all the way across, so at least it looks like it's moving. But that's just me. It's like it's elevator music. It's like it's taunting me.
You are now entering the deep ocean, home to many strange and mysterious creatures. Bear witness to their world of...
Daddy? Is that you? I'm lost! How do I get out of here?
Alright, so the idea is we are a perfectly normal human being. Absolutely nothing strange or out of line in this game
Don't run off without
whatsoever.
Okay, Dad?
Nothing wrong here. Nothing out of the ordinary at all. We're just a normal father
Predators seek out the phosphorescent
with a normal
glow of
life.
prey.
And
You have
we
what
have
it
to
takes
go
hunt
and do
in the
ordinary
darkness.
dad
I bet
things.
you don't.
Dad?
And these ordinary dad things involve
Go around this right now?
doing weird things like doing dancing for some reason. So the idea is, to move your perfectly normal human body, you use the L and R buttons to move your individual feet.
Mom told us you two used to go dancing, but I didn't know you had moves like those.
And you use the left analog stick to determine what direction your feet are going to move in.
So, if you were a bigger fish, you would catch the smaller fish, and then...
You can also use...
Right?
Well, you can't really use anything else to move, can you? It's just...
Dancing, Dad! I tried to dance like you, and hit my head, then went to sleep.
You also have arms that you can move around, but we'll get to them in a moment.
You're gonna do a funny
Congratulations,
There we go.
Hunter. You have what it takes. Now take a shake light and descend.
Now we also have arms. Also, these are some weird multi-loads. They come in at random points in the level. I read on Twitter there's something about that there's save points and they needed to do that because the physics don't work properly in the Vita version, or at least they work differently in the Vita version. But anyway, you use the right analog stick to move your arm in a 2-dimensional square, and then you can also use the left analog stick to move the arm in and out, and you also have the X button to grab stuff.
Can you?
Also, I just fell right over and hurt myself.
Ooh, jelly. They make me feel like I'm wrapped up in a warm, cozy blanket.
So the idea is you have plenty of puzzles based around the physics engine and all sorts of other silly things in order to keep up the illusion that you're a fucking octopus. It's kind of amazing. It's such a silly concept, but it's done really well because the controls themselves are actually really easy to get used to. Like, it's amazingly simple to get everything up and going. You're going to suck at it at first, but eventually you'll start getting better. Slowly but surely. Okay, apparently she doesn't like being left alone. Come on, girl. So you got that little meter down the bottom there, which is how much of a nuisance you've caused. You get that by knocking over objects and hurting your children and stuff like that. Also being seen by, and I wish I was kidding, marine biologists, because they can see an octopus when they know an octopus when they see one. It's kind of hilarious. And you've also got other people to deal with, like angry chefs who want to turn you into sushi. It's really weird, honestly. But it's just this weird, wacky world that... Oh, look.
Oh no! Dad, it's one of those science men that you're afraid of. Give me the shaky light.
Okay, here, take the light.
Excuse me, little girl.
Now I can actually just wander on behind him and I won't get seen by him. That was neat.
Were you entranced? I bet you were.
Everybody while I connect Kelly.
Alright, so let's have a look. See, this is a weird puzzle. We need to get the lights working and the game loads again. So yeah, it's just this weird universe where it's really, really hard to be an octopus with really... It's really hard to be an octopus with weird physics. Where did she go? No, she's just right there. Thank God for that. Okay, so we have to get the lights working now. So we can... Oh, probably have to go into maintenance to take care of that.
Hold on, Dad. I'm coming over to help.
So yeah, look at this. You just have to do all these silly little things like go grocery shopping for your kids, get married, get all sorts of silly stuff working. It's quite strange.
I found these little glow sticks, but I don't know how long they're gonna fight off the darkness.
So let's just try and get this in here. And there are a bunch of different puzzles too. Like there's one stage earlier on where it's something along the lines of you've got a set of arcade games like you'd see like Whack-A-Mole and stuff like that, and you have to win a certain amount of them and you have to do them with Octodad's weird control scheme. And a bunch of other weird little mini games that come along and all sorts of just weird stuff that you would think would be easy because they're pretty much everyday life things. But it all works pretty well. And then you end up having to do silly things like find things like ties that are hidden around each level, and they're often hidden in the weirdest of places. I imagine that there's a tie in at least one of these, but I'll be damned if I can even see it. Yep. There was actually a tie in there, as I thought. So yeah, 3 ties to find in every level. But let's just come back in here.
I think there's something really scary in here.
And do the lights.
Shine lights in his eyes, Dad. Blind him. Blind him.
Alright, I think I've got to move over here a little bit more. There we go. So you just do these puzzles for a little bit, and it's surprisingly... It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's such a simple concept, and they don't really add to it much in terms of mechanics. You've always got, like, the same set of controls. But, whoa. Why are the lights going off again?
Witness the amazingly cuddly Snugglefish. A stuffed Snugglefish toy makes a killer gift.
That's one hell of a trick. But, again, it's just such a wacky set of controls and mechanics, and they're always giving you more stuff to do that's different from the previous levels. So they never really add to the set of mechanics that you have in the game, but all these other little things that you can do, and all the other little activities it gives you to do, is something that will actually keep you occupied. I've been playing for an hour and I'm not bored yet.
Sharks. I hope there are weresharks.
So now we actually get to leave. With another level load. It takes a... These level loads take up a fair amount of time. It's a bit strange.
What's wrong, Daddy? You sound like Mommy when she sees the house after you make breakfast. Lift your legs up high, Dad.
So yeah, now we have to go up the escalator the wrong way, and then we have to just activate it. It's strange. It's always a little strange thing with this game.
You can do it. A princess can make anything or she wants to. You gotta switch it so it works right.
There we go. There are also developer times that you can try and beat if you wanted a little bit more replayability. I mean, I'm only an hour in and I've seen half the levels. So it's just...
Were you undelighted? I bet you weren't.
This game's got a weird sense of humor. But yeah, I've seen half the levels in about an hour, so it's obviously it's a fairly short game, pretty much, because I mean, unless the next set of levels are like 3 times as long, it's only going to go for like 3 hours at most. And $15 might be a bit steep for 3 hours if you don't want to go back, find all the ties, and do the developer time challenges. Which, to be fair, are a pretty big challenge, but I can see someone getting really good and trying to speedrun this. We'll just have a look at a little bit more of the next level, and then we'll call this video to an end. But the controls work fine, obviously. I haven't run into any precision problems with them yet. Game runs at a fairly solid frame rate. The constant loading times, I should say, not consistent. Well, they are consistent, but they're also constant. The constant loading times I'm not that big of a fan of. It's a little bit annoying, honestly. It loads so much. It can get annoying. Okay, but now we need to find our way up there, and we have to go through the employees only door for some bloody reason.
Starfish must come from
I'm pretty sure that's something someone would say when they're high. But yeah, it's got a nice sense of humor, and it's presented really well too. I mean, excuse me. The level of detail in the graphics is actually pretty impressive for the solid frame rate that it holds up, and I must admit, it's nice and smooth. Like, you couldn't tell? It's just really smooth and... Hello. What the hell? Okay.
Nowhere to run this time. Now, tell me, Octopus, what are you plotting? How many others are there? Why is everybody fish? It doesn't matter. Go back where you belong. Goodbye, Octopus. I'll tell your family the bad news.
It makes no bloody sense, but it's also kind of hilarious. I like it. Poor octopus. For some reason, you end up feeling sorry for an octopus who absolutely hates the aquarium. It's a weird game, it's a funny game, and it's actually fun to play because the physics are so down to earth enough to make it look ridiculous when you do something silly. It's quite the time, I must say. That local co-op mode might give things a little bit more oomph, but bloody hell, I'd end up throwing my Vita across the room. Okay, so apparently this is the next level, but I'm just going to head back to the main menu, and then we're going to play... I think we're going to play the... Yeah, we'll play the wedding level, just for another demonstration of just how silly this game gets. Alright, jump cut. Sorry about that, but I accidentally went to the home screen while there was a bunch of PlayStation Mobile games installing, so I had to cut that all out of the video, but there are a bunch of trophies that you can get that don't exactly have the same goals in mind as the game itself, so like there are tiny little side objectives you can do. It's somewhat silly, like in this...
He's just running late. He's always late.
In this wedding level, you have a best man that you can get up onto the stage, which is a bit odd.
Mr. Groom?
But we'll just skip the rest of this. So, yeah, it's just a basic a set of controls for the arms here, just to help you learn how to play the game. Go away, please. But it's a fun time. Quite entertaining. Keep you occupied for a few hours, laugh a few times. This whole kind of ridiculous idea. Yep. No idea why that's a thing. Yep, you just destroy the entirety of this dance room. It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah. It's an enjoyable little romp. And if you're willing to deal with the idea that it might be a little bit shorter than one might hope for $15, it's well worth the time. It's a well-made port outside of all the loading times. And the concept is honestly genius. It's such a simple thing. Whoops, knocked over a vase. Slipped on a banana peel. I'll just grab this. What do I grab? I grab the sign. So if I hold the sign up and pull back and let go, smack. And I put on my bow tie. There are other things you can do, like wear sunglasses and stuff like that you find on the levels. It's a bit weird. Well, it's not actually that weird, but it's still quite funny to look at. But yeah, that was a quick look at Octodad. It's a crazy concept. It controls well enough.
I knew you wouldn't get cold feet. Honey, where's the best man? Guess you'll have to get the ring yourself. You look so handsome.
I like this. If you play this right, he's not even looking, and he just... Ow. I beat the crap out of her. Whoops. So you play... He's not even looking. He's just... Like, nobody finds a problem with the fact that he didn't even look at his wife while he was putting the wedding ring on. That is so silly. But that's half the fun. It's a silly, enjoyable, well-made, good running game. $15 might be a little bit too much for it at the amount of time it probably lasts for. But I'm enjoying it. I can't really find that many glaring faults with it. Well worth your time to look at, if you ask me. If it goes on sale, pick it up immediately. Otherwise, good time. Good times. So you've even got dev times down there to try and beat, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, look, I took 16 minutes on the arcade, and it took the dev 3 minutes. But yeah, that was a look at Octodad Dadliest Catch. Well worth the time. Well worth the... Well, almost well worth the money. I can understand if you want to buy it because it's fairly short at $15. But yeah, it's still worth the money. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.